Today we are going to look at the play version of The Rainmaker. This is not the original play of The Rainmaker. That was way back in the 1950s, and there's no recording that I can find of that time. So I found this official version in 1982 called The Rainmaker as well. It was a 1982 filmed theatrical production of the N. Richard Nash play, The Rainmaker. So you could say it's like the official play version, but it's also the only one that I could find on the internet. So we're gonna watch it and see what the story is like as a play. So let's go. The play takes place in a western state on a summer day in a time of drought.
That you, Pop?
Yeah. Morning, Noah.
Morning. Heard somebody fussing around the kitchen. I was hoping it was Lizzie.
Well, she was so dead beat after a trip, I figured I'd let her sleep.
Yeah. Heard her walk in her room last night till hell knows when. Getting late. Maybe I'll wake her up.
No, I wouldn't do that, Noah. She must have had a pretty rough trip. Let her sleep it off.
I sure hoping she'd fix breakfast. But I guess if we didn't croak after a week of your cooking, we can make it through another meal.
So even though this is a play, I can tell they recorded this when it wasn't in front of an audience, because they're recording it literally on stage in front of the actors close up, which is great. So we, as the viewer, can actually watch this play version closer up because we're not actually there within the audience. But also the actors are acting a lot less theatrical. Like their movements are not as big, their expressions are not as big, even their voice is a lot more toned down, whereas usually in theater you want to make things really just bigger and louder. You want your voice to be more exaggerated a lot of the time. So this kind of acting is much more realistic than what you would usually see on stage.
Jimmy, if you'll come up for a minute, I got something to say to you.
What?
Last night, you could have got yourself into a hat full of
No,
trouble.
we have to talk about that now.
What kind of trouble, Noah?
No.
Certain girl named Snooky.
Oh, was Snooky at the dance?
Was she at the dance? You'd have thought nobody else was there. She come driving up in a brand new 5-cylinder Essex car. And her hair's so bleached blonde, you can see her coming right
It ain't
down.
bleached, no.
Don't you tell me. The old Denby says she comes in the store, buys a pint of peroxide every month.
What's that? I used peroxide for a cut finger.
She'd cut herself that often, she'd bleed to death.
What happened, Jim?
I'll tell you what happened. Along about 9:30, I look around, there's no Jim and no Snooky. Dumb kid, he walked out of that barn dance without even tipping his hat. Went off with that hot pants girl.
I didn't go off with her, no. I went off by myself. I was outside looking at that Essex. And pretty soon she comes out and she's kind of staring me up and down. And I says, how many cylinders has this Essex got? And she said 5. And then she says, how tall are you? And I said 6. And before you know it, we're riding in that Essex. She's got that car racing 40 miles an hour. Oh, man, Pop, it was fast.
Everything about that girl's fast.
What do you mean by that, Noah?
Just what I said. When the dance was over and we were supposed to go down to the depot pick Lizzie up, I had to go looking for him. You know where he was? Parked in that girl's car just outside Denby's store. And the two of them, I never seen such goings on in all my life. They were so twisted up you couldn't tell where he left off and Snooky began. If I hadn't come along, hell knows what would have happened.
Yeah, hell knows. Could have come home with a little red hat.
With her what?
So where's this little red hat?
Why would you want to come home with her little red hat?
Nothing.
So I do know in the musical version, there's a song literally titled Little Red Hat, and it's about the relationship between the younger brother and Snooky, his love interest in the musical. But I don't think we get to hear about their relationship until way later in Act 2. So it's interesting that we're bringing this up now, right in the beginning. Maybe in the musical version they bring up Snooki, but already we're getting the whole setting of the entire play, the entire story. So we're establishing these three characters, the dad and the two sons. We've already heard about the main character, Lizzie, who I'm sure is coming in soon. And not only that, but we're also hearing about the side character and this whole relationship. And obviously the older brother does not care for it. He does not support this relationship that the younger brother has going on. And the dad just seems clueless for some reason.
101 degrees.
Only it'd cool off at
101
night.
degrees.
I don't mind a hot
Oh
night.
my gosh.
Something about a hot night gets you all kind of stirred up inside.
I guess that's the South for you.
Hey, Pop,
I can't
why don't Lizzie
imagine.
come down and make our breakfast for us?
I can't imagine living. What time period is this? 19 something. Oh, I can't remember. 1920s? I can't remember. I can't imagine living during this time period and not have air conditioning. Because I don't think they had anything besides, fans. It makes you think how lucky you are compared to these folks.
Let her sleep. She didn't get much sleep last night.
Yeah, she gets off the train, she comes home and starts cleaning up her bedroom in the middle of the night. Hell, there's no need for that. I cleaned up her room real nice.
Jimmy, when some girls ain't happy, they cry. Lizzie works.
Yeah.
So good.
Well, what are we gonna do about her, Pop? You gotta talk to her. Mention.
Who's gonna mention it to her?
I told you, Pop, I'm not gonna talk to her.
Me neither. I'm not gonna talk to her.
Stop saying exactly what Noah's saying. Speak for yourself.
I'm saying what Noah's saying because I agree with him. And when I don't, I spit in his eye.
Then why don't you talk to her?
Because if we talk to her, she's gonna think we're trying to get rid of her.
She'll sure think the same if I do it.
Maybe.
Maybe.
So, there you are.
Yeah, but you're her father. And there comes a time when the father's got dementia.
I can't. I can't just speak up and say, Lizzie, you gotta get married. She knows she's gotta get
my
married.
gosh.
We all know it.
Well, then, looks like there's no point to mention anything.
So already within 10 minutes, basically, we've established the setting. We established how freaking hot it is. And we've really gotten to see the bond between the dad and the sons and starting to get hints of what their relationship is like with the main character, Lizzie, before she comes down. And I think it's very obvious that all the family members love each other very dearly, but they don't really know how to show it, especially in regards to Lizzie. And I think it's just because it's a male-female dynamic. I think it's obvious that there's no mother or no woman figure in this house besides Lizzie. And so they don't know how to deal with her sometimes. They're confused why she comes home from a trip and then she goes up to her room and starts working and starts cleaning up her bedroom. And they're like, why is she doing that? We already did that for her. Which is also very nice, by the way. But they're confused why she is doing that. They don't understand what's going on. And so none of them want to talk to her. And we're also bringing up, I think, the main topic of the entire story, which is marriage. And I guess that's a major concern for these guys. But maybe the concern is kind of overbearing. And we definitely see that already between the older brother and the younger brother. You can see the older brother has a lot of concern for his younger brother, but his younger brother doesn't notice that. Or maybe I think he does. I see that he does. But you can tell they do care for each other. And the father cares for them. There's just some natural family drama that I think almost every family has, I'm sure. And so now establishing all that, now we're going to be introduced to the main character of the entire show.
Morning, Pop.
Morning, honey.
Jimmy, Noah.
Morning, Lizzie.
Well, sure is good to be home again.
That's just what the boys were saying. Sure is good to have Lizzie home again.
No sign of rain yet, is there?
No, not a cloud nowhere.
I dreamed we had a rain. Great big rain.
Did you, Lizzie?
Yeah, thunderstorm. Rain coming down in sheets. Lightning flashed and thunder rolled up and down the canyon like a kid with a big drum. And I looked up and I laughed and I yelled. Oh, it was wonderful.
Drought's drought, a dream's a dream.
It was a nice dream, Noah, nearly as good as rain.
What happened in Sweet River, Lizzie?
Nothing. Not a doggone thing.
What'd you do? Where'd you go?
Well, first 3 or 4 days I was there. Stayed in my room mostly.
What'd you do that for?
'Cause I was embarrassed.
Embarrassed about what?
Noah, use your head. I knew why I was there. My whole family knew it too. I couldn't stand the way they were looking me over. So I'd go downstairs for my meals, and I'd rush back up to my room, and I packed, and I unpacked, and I packed, and unpacked. I washed my hair a dozen times. I read the Sears Roebuck catalog from cover to cover. Finally, I said to myself, Lizzie Curry, snap out of this. Well, it was a Saturday night, and they were all going to a rodeo dance. So I got myself all decked out, my highest heels, my lowest cut dress, and I went down to that supper table. And all
What's
those
low
boys
cut for that
looked at
time
me
period?
as if I was
How low did you go?
naked. And then that Ned Jr. said, Lizzie, you fixing to be a schoolmarm?
Oh, no.
Yes. Suddenly I felt I was
What's a
way
school
back
marm?
at a high school dance and nobody dancing with me. I got that sick feeling I used to get when I was wearing eyeglasses, and, well, I knew from that minute on it was no go. So I didn't go to the rodeo dance. Stayed home and made up poems about what was on sale at Sears Roebuck's.
You and little Pete.
Yes. When I left Sweet River, little Pete was bawling. He said, Lizzie, you're the most beautifulest girl that ever was.
And he's right. You are.
Oh, Pop, please.
We see you that way. He see you that way.
Not as big brothers.
Because you didn't show yourself right.
I tried.
Show yourself
You
right.
hid behind your books. You hid behind your glasses that you don't even wear no more. You're afraid of being beautiful.
I'm afraid to think I am when I know I'm not.
Okay. Wow. So we've gotten to hear a whole monologue about Lizzie's trip, and it sounds like it didn't go well. So basically, she went on this trip to find a husband. That's what it sounds like. And whenever she did have a conversation with any of the men that was present with her, she wasn't very womanly. Like, she literally knew things about geography, and apparently that makes her not very womanly because she knows how to read and all these different things. It's a different time period, okay? She's just a more carefree gal than the other women that are around her, I guess. And you can tell that the father and the brothers aren't very happy about it. They don't know what to do with her. And you can tell also that Lizzie is a little bit older, and because she's older, she should be married. That's what a woman should do. They should get married, have families, and all that stuff. She has no husband and no children and no household. So I guess for this time period, that's not a good thing. That's a very worrisome thing. So I understand the men's concern. They're concerned about Lizzie and for her well-being and her livelihood. They don't know what's going to happen to her and they're worried about her. But unfortunately, it sounds like this is not the first time Lizzie has gone on these trips to find a man, and it's just never worked out because of who she is. And we've also established on this last line that she doesn't think she's beautiful. She doesn't think she's pretty. And I think it's a bit weird that the dad is like, well, yeah, because you read, you hide behind books and all this different stuff. And I mean, again, it's part of the time period. That's just how they thought back then. But we established that Lizzie has some strong insecurities about herself, especially with her looks, even though I think she's really pretty. And I don't think it helps that the dad and the brothers, they're not helping with the insecurity, unfortunately. Maybe they think they are helping, but they're not helping with this situation.
Lizzie,
Yes?
me and the boys, we put our heads together and we thought we'd mention something to you.
What?
You want to tell her about it, Noah?
Nope, it's your idea, Pop.
He's like, I told you multiple
Well, the
times.
boys and me,
I don't want to talk
get
to her
some work
about it.
done. We figured to ride over to 3 Points this afternoon.
That's what happens when you're the eldest.
Pop, if you want to ask somebody to supper, go ahead. Ask him. Well, not File. He doesn't know I'm on Earth.
He knows, Lizzie. He knows.
No, he doesn't. No, whenever we ride into town, he's got a great big hello for you and Noah and Jimmy. He's got nothing for me. He just barely sneaks his hat off his head. He makes a point of ignoring me.
When a man makes a point of ignoring you, he ain't ignoring you at all. Now, how about it, Lizzie? File for supper?
No, I don't like him. No,
If you don't really like
no.
him, one no is enough.
Nowadays, people say that if a man teases you, makes fun of you, all those things, that means the man, the boy, really likes you. But I guess back then, maybe it was a thing that if a man ignores you, he likes you. So that's very interesting. I never heard of that before.
Invite him.
Okay, come on, boys.
Come on.
You go ahead and cook a great supper.
Oh, I will.
So we got scene 1 done, and we've also been introduced to a supporting character and also one of Lizzie's love interest, who is named Sheriff File. And it seems like Lizzie doesn't know what to do with File. I guess they've known each other for a while, and it seems like the sheriff ignores her a lot of the time, and so she doesn't know what to do with that, so she just doesn't like him. But I guess the dad does really like him and really wants this to work out. But we've had our establishing scene, so we got all the details that we need to know, or most of the details we need to know for the rest of this story. So now we're moving on to scene 2.
You know, it ain't right for a man to shack up alone here with nothing but a coffee pot and a leather sofa. Especially after you've been married once. I mean, when a man loses his woman, he needs something warm up against his backside at night.
Last night was 104 degrees.
Okay, if you don't want the dog, don't take him. If you're one of those kind of men who don't like animals.
Oh, I like animals.
Well, if you liked animals, you'd have an animal.
I've had them.
Yeah, I bet. What kind?
Back in Pedleyville, I went out and got myself a raccoon.
Hell, a raccoon ain't a dog.
No, I guess it ain't. But I liked him. He's a crazy little fellow, and he made me laugh.
Yeah, what happened to him?
I don't know. One day he took off to the woods and never came back. Little bastard.
There, you see? Did you ever figure a dog doing a thing like that? No sirree. I tell you, File,
No,
if
a
you'd ever
dog
had a
would do
dog,
that,
you'd
trust
had
me.
dogs.
A dog would run away if it wanted to.
File, you couldn't have liked that dog very much or you'd have given him a name.
Oh, I liked him a lot, Sheriff. Gave him everything he wanted. Took good care of him, too. In fact, better than he took care of himself.
Yeah, what happened to him?
One day he ran out under a buckboard.
Oh,
There, you see? You think everything's gonna run off or get run over.
I don't know,
That's so
Sheriff.
sad.
I just don't want a dog. Not that I ain't obliged.
okay, so we've gotten a lot of information about Sheriff File. So 1, he was married once. And based on the dog story, because I was like, where is this going? Why are we learning about this dog? It's obvious he doesn't want one, which is fine. Well, we learned that he is somebody who is scared, maybe even terrified of people running away from him. And so it sounds like his life has not been the easiest, but he doesn't want to be alone. However, he thinks the best option to not being alone is being alone. If he doesn't have somebody that he cares about, then he won't have to experience the fear of being left behind. And we've also learned in those last few seconds that he's also just very, very stubborn.
Hey, File.
Hey, Five.
Hey, boys. Yeah, right
Look
over.
at the
You boys seen
younger
a sign of
brother.
rain?
He's like, he's just walking right in with his hands in his pockets and he's just having a good old time. He's like, I'm happy to be here. Hello, File.
Hey, File, what's that hanging down from your shirt right there?
Kind of looks like a needle.
Sure does.
What's the matter? Your shirt tore?
Looks like it.
What kind of conversation is this?
Fix it yourself?
Well, we ain't got time for a drink, but we was figuring on inviting you over to supper one of these days.
Well, I'll be glad to come one of these days.
How about tonight?
Don't have the time tonight. Seems there's some kind of outlaw headed our way. Fellow named of Tornado Johnson. Have to stick around.
Well, you don't know he's coming this way, do you?
He says that he's 3-point bound.
But you don't know he'll be here tonight.
I don't know he won't be here tonight.
Wow, he might be out at Pedleyville or Pete's Junction. He might even be out at our place.
Well, I won't be out at your place, Jim.
This whole conversation is literally the epitome of wink wink, like like come to our place, come to dinner, it'll be fun, you'll get to see Lizzie, right? Lizzie is really good at sewing shirts. Like, it's so awkward. And now we finally also have mentioned the final main character and Lizzie's other love interest, Tornado Johnson, or AKA Bill Starbuck.
Pop, you told me to try and be friendly, but he just don't want to be friendly.
Want to be friendly, Jim?
This poor man. He's like, I'm trying to make friends, I'm trying to make this work, I promise, but he's just not being friendly.
We're inviting you out to the house for Lizzie? You take that back, File.
Won't take anything back, Jim.
He's so
You
emotional.
take something else back then, huh?
Oh my gosh.
Wouldn't have hurt you to come and have supper. Might have done you some good.
We weren't talking about supper,
That's
HC.
right. We were talking about Lizzie. And she might have done you some good, too.
Well, I can mend my own shirts.
Seems to me you need a lot more mending than shirts.
Now, wait a minute, H.C. You don't drop a word like that and just leave it.
All right. What'd you hit him for?
Threw a punch. I got angry.
Angry? Why? We come around here and say we like you enough to have you part of our family. Is that an
I
insult?
don't like people interfering.
Interfering with what?
I'm doing all right by myself.
You ain't doing all right, File. For a fellow that won't make friends with a whole town that likes him and looks up to him. A fellow that shuts himself in, he ain't doing all right. And if he says he is, he's a liar.
Take it easy, H.C.
I said a liar, and I mean it. Now, you talk about yourself as being a widower. Well, we all got respect for your feelings. But you ain't a widower. And everybody in this town knows
I am
it.
a widower. My wife died 6 years ago back in Pedleyville.
Your wife didn't die, File. She ran out on you. And you're a divorced man. But we'll all go on calling you a widower as long as you want us to. Hell, it don't hurt us none. But you, a fellow that shuts himself up with that lie, he needs mending.
That was a really good conversation. Honestly, that whole scene was well written. So when the sons leave, we have a really good heart-to-heart between HC and Sheriff File, and we get to know more about Sheriff File, especially about how his wife died, aka left him. But he goes around with this lie saying that his wife died 6 years ago, and that's why he doesn't want to remarry. Which would be, I think, a good reason, but that's not true. His wife left him. Why? We don't know, but she left him. So that might be why he's so angry. Like, there was really no reason to punch the younger brother. There was no reason at all. Yes, he did get in his face and he tugged his shirt and all of that, but like, there was no reason to go that far. The younger brother was just concerned about his sister, Lizzie, and wanting the sheriff to come over and have some dinner. Of course, if the sheriff says no, then just take it for what it is. No. No means no.
Stop it! No means no!
But these brothers and this father are very stubborn themselves. All the characters are very stubborn. So I get to learn about this with File, and HC, the dad, really says something profound. You need more than just mending your shirt or something like that. Basically saying his whole life needs mending. He needs to figure out how to let go and move on from his past failed relationship. And Lizzie might be the person to help him do that. Maybe. I'm on the side of you shouldn't be fixing people's problems. You shouldn't be trying to fix somebody just because you think they need fixing. I don't like that. But I understand the dad's side of it where it's like a man shouldn't be alone. A man shouldn't just be behind closed doors all the time. He should have family of some kind. Somebody to rely on. Somebody that loves him and wants to take care of him.
File's not coming.
Nope.
I see.
Not that he didn't want to come, Lizzie. He wanted to a lot.
You did, huh?
Sure. Pop said, come to supper
he's
tonight,
trying to
Pop.
make her feel
and,
better.
When Pop said that, did you notice the way his face kind of lighted up? Did you notice that, Pop?
Yeah.
And then File said, sure, I'll come. I'm glad to come. And then he remembered.
What did he remember, Jimmy?
Well, he remembered that there's some kind of an outlaw running around, and he better stick around and pay attention to his job. Business before pleasure. Yes, sir, File was real friendly.
Oh, dude.
Friendly, huh? What happened to your eye?
Oh, no. You're making this worse,
Kind of
man.
swolled up on me, huh?
File hit him.
You mean you fought to get him to come here?
Well, it was only a little fight, Lizzie.
Why didn't you make it a big one? A riot. Why didn't you pile on top of him, slug him, drag him here?
Lizzie, you're seeing this all wrong.
I'm seeing it the way it happened. He said she might be a pretty good cook and it might be a good supper, but she's plain as old shoes.
Well, no,
He didn't say
don't go
anything
that
like
far.
that.
It wasn't
He
about
didn't say
that.
nothing about shoes.
Oh, he made it worse.
We made a mess out of it.
I think you need to
You'd
stop
have taken
talking.
my advice, there wouldn't have been any mess. I told you not to go down there and talk to File, nobody listened. I told you not to send her to Sweet River, nobody listened. Hell, I don't like being right all the time, but for Pete's sake.
Well, Noah, I'm stumped. If you were Lizzie's father, what would you do?
Well, who says we got to do anything? We've been pushing
That's right.
her around, trying to marry her off. Why? What if she don't get married? Is that the end of everything? She got a home, she got a family, she got bed and board and clothes on her back and plenty to eat.
Noah's right. From now on, we listen to Noah.
Don't you dare listen to
For
her.
now
Why?
on,
She got
listen
everything she
to Noah.
needs.
She ain't got what'll make her
The
happy.
oldest is
She
right.
ain't gonna get it neither.
And also the actors so far are fantastic. I love the acting in this play. I'm actually really into this right now. I thought I'd be pretty bored. Usually with plays, I get pretty bored sooner or later, so we'll see if I'm still awake by the end of this video. And I completely agree with Noah. I don't know why these men are trying to meddle in Lizzie's love life or non-existent love life. Because honestly, it's just making it worse. Like, Lizzie's hopes were brought up. They were going to bring File for dinner. He doesn't come, so now Lizzie's hopes are dashed. She's completely distraught, basically. She made all this food and now he's not coming? Are you kidding me?
She's as good as any of them girls down at the Ladies' Social Club. She can go down the social on Wednesday nights, and she can giggle and flirt as good as any of them.
What do you want her to turn into, Lily Ann Beasley?
Lily Ann Beasley gets any man that she goes for. I saw her walk up to Phil Mackey one morning, and she started to wiggle her hips like a little cocker
Oh, my
spaniel. And she
gosh.
said, "Why, Phil Mackey, how many toes do you got?" And he said, "Well, naturally, I got 10. And then she said, "Why, that's just the right number of toes for a big, strong fella to have." Pretty soon, he was cooked.
I don't want a man to keel over. I want him to stand up straight, and I want to stand up straight to him without having to trick him. Isn't that possible? Isn't that possible with a man?
No, it ain't.
Yes, it is.
No. For once in his life, Jimmy said something sensible.
Oh my gosh.
It's a
The
man you want.
roasting.
You've got to get a man the way a man gets got.
That's the way a man gets got. I don't want any of them.
Lizzie.
No, the hell with File, the hell with all
Don't you
of
use that
them.
language.
Lizzie.
Hell,
Lizzie.
the hell with all of them.
Go open that door.
Must have been a wind.
Wind? Did you say wind? There's not a breath of wind anywhere in the world.
Who are you?
Name is Starbuck. Starbuck's the name. Lady of the house. Hello.
You're just gonna invite yourself in?
That's a mighty nice dress. It ought to go to a party.
Don't you knock on a door before you come in.
What is it? What can we do for you?
You're asking the wrong question. The question
I
is, what
know
can I do for
you.
you?
I don't remember we called for anybody to do anything.
Is this your ranch, mister?
He owns it. I run it.
Well, I guess I'll talk to you then. You got a look of business about you. You got your feet apart. You stand solid on the ground. That's the kind of man I like to talk to. Well, what are you going to do about them cattle?
Well, since you know we lost them cattle, you ought to know what killed them. Drought. You ever hear of it?
Hear of it, that's all I hear. Wherever I go, there's drought ahead of me. But when I leave, behind me, there's rain. Rain.
I think this man's crazy.
Sure, that's what I am. Crazy. I woke up this morning, I took a good look at the world, and I said to myself, the world has gone completely out of its mind, and the only thing that can set it straight is a first-class A1, a lunatic. Well, here I am, folks, crazy as a bedbug. Did I introduce myself? The name is Starbuck, Rainmaker.
You really mean you can bring rain?
He can't bring anything. He talks too fast.
I'm asking him, can you bring
He
rain?
does talk
It's
really
been done,
fast.
brother. Yeah.
I just realized, so far everybody's talked pretty slow, southern slow. And so with this new character just literally just coming right into the stage, into the house, he's speaking so fast that my brain was like, whoa, wait, what are you saying? Like, we all know this is Tornado Johnson. This is who File was talking about. And literally, it feels like he just came into the scene like a tornado, just rushing right in and starts talking fast and already set on his goal of convincing these people. Basically, he's trying to sell his brand, which is he has the power to make it rain. His acting, his style, and even the speed and how he talks, he stands out from the rest of the cast so far.
$100 in advance, and inside of 24 hours, you will have rain.
You mean it, real rain?
Rain is rain, brother. It comes from the sky. It's a wetness known as water, aqua pura. Mammals drink it, fish
He's
swim in it,
spelling out
little
rain for
boys
ya.
wade in it, and little birds will flap their wings and sing like sunrise. Water. I recommend it.
Pay him the 100, Noah.
Noah, don't be a chump.
Well, me, don't you
He's
worry.
convinced.
No, we got the drought. It's rain, Lizzie. We need it.
We won't get a drop of it, not from him.
How would you do it, Starbuck?
Well, now don't ask me no question.
Why, it's a fair question. How will you do it?
Why do you care how I do it, sister, as long as it's done? But I'll tell you how I'll do it. I'll lift this stick. I'll take a long swipe at the sky, and I'll let down a shower of hailstones the size of cantaloupes. Well, I'll shout out some good old Nebraska cuss words, and you'll turn around, and there's a lake where your corral used to be.
Nebraska cuss
Or maybe I'll
words.
sing a little tune, and it'll sound so pretty, and sound so sad you'll weep, and your old man will weep, and the sky will get all misty-like and shed down the prettiest little tears you ever did see. How will I do it? Girl, I'll just do it.
Girl, I just do it. You can tell Starbuck is a sweet talker, a smooth talker, a charmer, and he's using his gift of words to convince these people that he can make it rain. All you have to do is pay him $100, which I'm sure is a lot of money back then. And of course, unfortunately, the younger brother is already convinced. He's like, we're in a drought. We need rain. He can make it rain. So pay him. That's simple. He's very, very simple-minded. Thankfully, we have Lizzie and Noah that have more common sense.
Yeah, that's what he is, all right. A liar and a con man.
It hurts me to hear you say that, mister. So long to you. So long for a sorry night.
Wait a minute.
You said I was a con man.
You're a liar and a con man. But I didn't say I wouldn't take your deal.
Pop, wait a minute. You can't do that.
I didn't say I would, neither.
Bob, you're not going to give this man.
He's about to leave. He's insulting them while he's leaving. And then the dad's like, wait, 1 minute. He's like, yes. I thought you were calling me a con man.
Starbuck, you got you a deal.
I'll tell you, I knew I had me a deal the minute I walked into this house.
How'd you know that?
Well, I see 4 of you, and I see 5 places set for supper, and I says to myself, Starbuck, your name is wrote right there on that chair.
Oh, he's taking File's spot. So I believe in plays, you need to establish all of your main characters, or the main cast, or just the whole cast in general, in the beginning of the show, Act 1. You need to establish all of them by Act 1, so you can move on to the actual meat of the story in Act 2. So we have established Starbuck, the last cast member of this entire story, and he's quite the character. And obviously, Lizzie and Noah don't like him very much. So now Starbuck is now eating dinner with the family, even though File was supposed to be there instead, but File decided not to show up.